databases section. Database intro. So database storing data on disk such as elastic file system, elastic block storage, easy to instance, store, and database can be stored in S3. So it have a limits. Sometimes you want to store data in a database. You can structure the data. You build index for faster searching and to make it more efficient query and search through the whole database. Uh, you define relationship between your database datasets. Databases are optimized for a purpose and come with different features, shapes, and constraints. So relational database, it looks just like an Excel spreadsheet with links between them. So ang relational, para lang siyang spreadsheet. Let's say for example, student sheet. So merong columns, merong row. Row 1, then this is the header. Header department ID is indexed using student ID 1. So if you're searching for, let's say, Joe Miller, all you need to do is go to row 1 and column 3. O makikita niyo yung Joe Miller. No? So relational can be used SQL language to perform queries and lookup. So if you notice this one, student ID 1, student ID ang subject niya physics. No? Department ID MO1, Department Kelly Jones with these phone numbers. No? Pag sinabi namang NoSQL, no, it's non-SQL, non-relational. It's not using Excel spreadsheet links. So walang ganito, no, walang link to different table. Okay? NoSQL database are purpose-built for specific models and have flexible schema. Benefits ng NoSQL is easy to evolve data model. Okay? And scalability, designed to scale out by using distributed clusters. It's also high performance, optimized for a specific data model, and highly functional. Ang example ng SQL is a key value pair. Okay? Another example is document, a graph in memory, and search database. So ganito yung tsura niya. Ang NoSQL is not like Excel spreadsheet na may rows, columns, and tables. No? It is declared in a JSON format or JavaScript on object notation. Let's say si John ay age 30 and then he owns 3 cars in an array format. Array normally starts with this symbol and ends with the end symbol. So 3 cars. Try to imagine, parang 3D, di ba? May 3 cars. Will it be possible dito sa relational? No? Probably, possible din, search student ID, pero magkikreate ka na naman ng another table. Let's say cars table, no? Toyota, Fiat, and what else? So gagawa ka naman table. Yung department naman has a separate table. Hence, they are related using this index. No? Dito, it's a flat format. No? Within the object, nandun na yung declaration. Okay, nandun na yung Ford, BMW, Fiat. So this is in a JSON format embedded using curly braces. So JSON is a common form of data that fits into NoSQL model. Okay? Data can be nested. As you can see, nested to. Address, nested to. No? So cars, Ford, BMW, Fiat. Fields can be updated over time. This can be updated, amended, appended, and supports for new types array. So kung may mga bago pang array, you can just easily add at the bottom. Databases and shared repo responsibility on AWS. AWS offers use to manage different database. Napakadaming database nito. No, to the fact na siguro 2 description lang, move on na tayo. No? Benefit includes quick provisioning. You don't even need to install a database. You don't need to patch. You don't need to update. No? It's highly available. As I've explained, it can do failover. It can vertical and horizontal scaling. You can perform automated backup. Let's say 10 p.m. every night, backup. You can also do restore from snapshot. And you don't need to patch the operating system because it's handled by AWS. And you can also monitor the performance, how user access the database. Very visible, very visible. Note, many database technologies could be run on an instance, no? Like yung merong Windows OS, then install mo yung SQL database, no? Mano-mano. So dito, it will be database as a service. You don't need an EC2 instance. Hindi mo na kailangan to. Okay? But you must handle yourself the resiliency, backup, patching, high availability, fault tolerance, and scaling. If you're running EC2, no, ikaw mag-handle lahat nito. AWS Relational Database Service, RDS stands for Relational Database Service. It's a managed DB service, meaning managed by AWS. Use SQL as query language. It allows you to create database in the cloud that are managed by AWS, such as Postgres. So these are all relational, which means Excel spreadsheet-like database. No? May tables, rows, columns, and indexes. So anong mga example nun? Postgres, MySQL, MariaDB, Oracle, Microsoft SQL, and proprietary ng AWS is Aurora. Advantage over using RDS versus deploying on a server. RDS is a managed service, okay? Meaning managed by AWS. So they will do automated provisioning. AWS will do patching. AWS will create the backup, and they can be able to restore, and such as terminology like point in time. Let's say I want to restore 10 p.m. yesterday data. No, pwede yan. Meron tong monitoring dashboard like a CloudWatch. It can create read replica, meaning another instance, pero read access only. Okay, you won't be able to update. For improved read performance. You can also set up multi-AZ to different availability zone for DR, just in case the let's say Sydney site is not available. Parang kanina, di ba nangyari? Noong na Sydney, lumipat ako ng US East, okay? North Virginia. Maintenance window for upgrade. So it's a rolling upgrade. So lilipat muna yan. Let's say 1A na upgrade. You will be routed to 1B. And then tapos upgrade 1A. 1B upgrade, lilipat ka sa 1C. No? Hindi mo ma-feel na nag-move ka na pala ng hosting, no? Such as this one. No? Alam mo, nakakonect ka lang, pero lumipat ka na pala. Okay? Habang ina-upgrade yung 257, lilipat ka nila. Nasa 65 ka na pala. Okay? Palipat-lipat ka lang. You won't feel the difference. Okay? Pero malayong data center yan. Three different data center. Na? RDS solution architecture. So meron kang load balancer. So it will load balance the request. Let's say first user will be pumped into instance 1. That instance 1 will have exclusive access sa Amazon RDS. Okay, may sariling session yan. And then simultaneously, may user 2, session number 2 sa database. User 3, gagamitin yung third instance. Pero may sariling connectivity yan sa database. Okay? Aurora is owned by AWS, okay, not an open source. Postgres and MySQL are supported as Aurora DB. Aurora is AWS Cloud Optimized. Dahil kanila yan, sila gumawa niya, optimized na yan. And they're saying it's 5 times more performance improvement compared sa open source ng MySQL. Okay? And 3 times better than Postgres. Okay? Postgres database is an open source as well. Aurora storage auto grows by increment of 10 GB. Let's say database mo 20 GB na. Tapos nagdagdag ka pa ng data ng 5 GB. So once it hits the limit, mag-auto grow. This is the term they call in NetApp. If you're a storage engineer, auto grow is an application, no, in NetApp Filer. And it can auto grow up to 64 tera. Aurora costs more than 20% sa RDS, but more efficient. Mahal, pero more efficient. Okay? And it's not free tier, so may bayad. Anything expensive is has a better quality. RDS, merong read replica, meaning it's a copy, pero read-only for better performance. No? Read replica, ganito. So, scale the read workload of your DB. So, let's say this is the main, this is the master. Magkakreate na another instance, pero read lang yan. No? Kakreate isa pang instance, pero read lang yan. So, let's say you have 3 users or 300 users. It can distribute the load equally. So 100 dito, 100 dito, 100 dito. So hindi magsasuffer yung master copy. Okay? In a multi-availability zone, you can perform failover. Okay? Let's say, ito yung main. Main, you can update, you can delete, you can remove. If this one becomes unavailable, lilipat sa read replica. Meaning, you can access the content of database, pero you cannot perform update. Okay? You have to wait until the main is up and running. In a multi-region, different region, let's say US East 2, European, then APAC, no? Asia Pacific, Europe, America, that's possible as well. So yung master database mo nandito, pero yung sa US East region, then APAC, read replica lang siya. Okay? So if someone want to send an update, kukontakin nila yung UE West 1. Okay? So he can serve 3 regions at the same time. Amazon Elasticache. What is Elasticache? So sa examination, lalabas to. Elasticache, the same way RDS is to get managed relational database. Elasticache is to get managed Redis or Memcache. These are 2 different technology. It's a caching device. It's a caching apps. Okay? Software yan. Cache are in-memory database with high performance, fast latency or low latency. Help reduce load of balance a database for read-intensive workloads. AWS take care of OS maintenance, patching, optimization. Okay, so wala na tayong pakialam na sa mga hardware maintenance, downtime, failed database, wala na. No? Elasticache, so ganito Elasticache, solution architecture of cache. So ELB, so dito magagaling user, possibly naka-auto-scaling group yung instances, magre-read right from cache using Elasticache in memory. No? Pero if this is the first time you're going to access the database, kukonek ka muna sa master. Okay? The master will commit the database or will write sa cache. Okay? Ang Elasticache is in memory. So, nasa RAM to. That's why you need a huge RAM. Kailangan nyo na ng 32 gig RAM, mga ganun. Malalaki, no? Kasi yung database is being committed sa memory. Hindi muna sa disk. So once, let's say they want to commit, they want to write sa database, doon lang magko-commit dito. Dito lang magka-copy, no, for permanent storage. So in return, yung frequently accessed file, binabasa sa memory, hindi sa magnetic tape. O di ba? Di mas mabilis. Nasa RAM lang siya. Kasi dito, nag-spin pa yan. Diba? Hanapin niya yung database. Let's say, asan ba yung Jungle Cruise na movie? Iikot pa yan, iikot pa yan. No? Wherein kung naka-cache naman na, sa RAM lang, and RAM has a faster and lowest latency. No? Next database is DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a fully managed, pag sinabing fully managed by AWS, highly available, no? May failover with replication across 3 availability zone. Grabe, ang dami. 3 AZ. Ano? It's a NoSQL database. No, it's using a JSON format, no, not relational database. That means hindi sequential searching. Okay, it scales to massive workloads and distributed using serverless, which means hindi ka nagagamit na server. There's no instances needed. Wala na operating system. Okay, probably serverless technologies such as Lambda. Okay? Millions of requests per second. Try to imagine within seconds. Trillions of row, no? Hundreds of terabyte of storage. Fast and consistent, and single-digit millisecond lang. No? 1 millisecond, 2 millisecond, 3 milliseconds. Low latency. Mabagal yung latency. No? And can be integrated using IAM account for security and authorization. Low cost and auto-scaling. So lahat nasa kanya na, no? In short. DynamoDB type of data. So meron siyang primary key. Okay? And sort key. And then yung index na yun or sort key na yun can be used to search the content of schema such as Odyssey, Homer, 1871. No? So faster searching siya. Na hindi siya sequential. DynamoDB accelerator, DAX, tawag nila, accelerator. Paano siya naging accelerator? Kasi it's using a in-memory cache device naman. Okay? In-memory cache, it's a cache stored in RAM. Wala sa storage, wala sa hard drive. Okay? So that's why it's 10 times performance improvement. Yung mga frequently accessed file, nasa in-memory cache. Okay? Wala sa hard drive. Pwede rin nasa flash drive such as NVMe, SSD. Okay? DynamoDB global tables make a table accessible with low latency in different regions. No, ito, North Virginia, tapos to Paris. So if you're a resident of North Virginia, ang access ng North Virginia ng database mo is not in Paris, obviously. No, you will be routed to the nearest edge location, which is North Virginia. Kasi nasa North Virginia kaya, no? So yung mga user naman na Paris, yung Paris edge ng AWS. No? And one good thing about Dynamo, pwede siyang active-active. Sabay yan, up and running. Hindi yung failover na this is active. The only time Paris will go online is pag namatay ito. No? Active, failover. So ito naging active. Once this is available, failback. Walang ganun. Active-active. Parehong sabay on. Hindi yan load balancing. No? It will serve to the nearest region ng users. Okay? Kung saan nakatira. So that's DynamoDB. So sa examination, you have to understand. No? So why do you choose DynamoDB over SQL? Okay? So ito yung comparison. Next is Redshift. Redshift is based on Postgres. No, ating gumawa nito, Solaris. No? But it's not used for online transaction processing. It's all up. Online analytical processing. No? Used for data warehousing. Redshift load data once every hour. Okay, pansin niyo? Every hour? Not every second. But 10 times better performance than other data warehouses. No? And it can scale up to petabytes. Napakalaki. Meron siyang tinatawag na columnar storage of data. So instead of yung row-based, column, table-based, columnar siya. So within one book, ang daming columns. Okay? Massively parallel query execution, highly available. It can do multi-threading, no? Simultaneous access, pwede. Parallel, no? Hindi serial. Ang relational is serial. Okay? Ito naman parallel. Parallel meaning you can have 100 queries at the same time. No? You don't have to wait until the first query is finished. No? Then pay as you go. Lahat naman pay as you go. Has SQL interface and meron siyang business intelligence tools, no? Such as QuickSight and Tableau. No? To come up with the intelligent decision, gagamit ka na ng BI. No? Next one is Amazon EMR, Elastic MapReduce. Ano? Helps creating Hadoop cluster. Hadoop is a big data warehousing software. Amazon AMR is a cluster can be made of hundreds of EC2 instances. No, for performance reason. It's also support Apache, Spark, HBase, Presto, whatever yun. No? EMR takes care of provisioning and configuration of all EC2 instance in big data analytics. Auto-scale din siya. Yung kaninang dinemo ko. Pwedeng ASG and so on. Saan ginagamit? For big data processing, for machine learning, for web indexing. And then Athena. Athena is a serverless query service to analyze data. Okay, so this could be hosted, managed service. No? Pag sinabi serverless, could be in Lambda. No? Pag sinabi serverless, not necessarily mean walang server. May server pero less. Okay, could be one operating system, let's say Windows lang or Linux. Within that Windows, lalagyan lang nila ng Docker or ng application or function such as Lambda function. Lambda can perform a web function. Pag dinump niyo yung index.html, magkakaroon ng web server. Tulad na ginawa ko kanina. Dinump ko lang sa S3 bucket yung index.html, meron lang web server. Okay, ito yung ginawa ko kanina. So, meron akong bucket. Okay, then dinump ko lang dito yung index.html. And then I granted permission. Binigyan ko lang siya ng permission. Ayun. So, na-access ko na siya. Web server na agad siya. No? secure web server. So pag kinlik ko tong URL, ayan siya. So meron na akong web server. So welcome to Nexus IT Web Server, the only training center which offers high-tech courses at a very affordable price. So 6,000 lang yung solution architect namin. Yun din pinag-usapan namin, database, DynamoDB, VPC, S3, EC2. Pero more hands-on. So kung gusto niyo maraming hands-on, enroll kayo dito. Puro hands-on yan. Less discussion. Baliktad naman tong fundamentals. More on lecture. No? Then merong QuickSight. QuickSight is serverless as well. Meaning hosted in, could be in Lambda. No? Serverless ML powered in business intelligence service to create interactive dashboard. So ito yung QuickSight. So this is the insight of your environment, no? Based on machine learning. Okay. So use case, business analytics. So you can come up with the intelligent decisions. So ito merong, you can see dito ito. So almost 20% used by this one. Heat mapping, almost I can say 10% used by this service. No? Mas meron 91% sales versus goal. Okay, which is good. Mataas yung sales. Expectation versus reality. So yung goal mo to have a high sales, more than achieve. No? So in one shot, you can see in dashboard lahat ng analytics mo. No? Next is document DB. Let's say Mongodb. Aurora is an AWS implementation of Postgres MySQL. So whatever Postgres and MySQL feature and function, meron din ng Aurora. No? Whatever I mentioned kanina, meron din ng Aurora. Okay? MongoDB is used to store, query, and it's using NoSQL. No? JSON format siya, JSON format. Similar deployments sa Aurora and fully managed, highly available, pare-pareho lang yan. Auto scale, blah, blah, blah. 64 tera, hindi petabytes. No? Limited nga lang siya. Okay? Compared to the other one. Next one is Neptune. Napakadaming database. Fully managed graph database. Okay? A popular graph dataset would be a social network. So ideally, who links where? No? Who links what? Who's your friend? Let's say you have a common friend. No? So visible sa inyo sa Facebook nyo yung common friend na yun. So yung database na ginagamit dito is called Neptune. Okay? QLDB naman, Quantum Ledger. It's like a ledger. A ledger is a book, no? Recording of financial transaction. So let's say ledger. First ledger. Inside the ledger, meron kang journal. Sa journal, meron kang block. Tapos may mga sequence number, hash number, which links to another ledger. Okay, let's say sales. Okay, ito naman balance sheet. No? Isa naman nakakonect dito sa expenses. Okay, sa QLDB. So 3 times better performance than common ledger blockchain. Difference with Amazon blockchain, no decentralization. Okay, component in accordance with the financial regulation rules. So if you want to understand more, just click this link. Pero sa exam, ito lang yung they need this one, no? Definition of terms. It's a fully managed serverless HA replication up to 3AZ. Next is Amazon Managed Blockchain. Blockchain makes it possible to build apps where multiple parties can execute transaction without the need for trusted central authority. So ito na yung not controlled by anyone else, where everybody is a master, sometimes called multi-master. Kasi once na store yung database dun sa, let's say you're running something na ikaw yung server, no? If somebody deleted that chain, no, it will create comparison. Sabihin natin dinilit 1B, character 1B. It will make a comparison to another trusted central authority. And then madedetect niya, wait, hindi naman deleted yung 1B, no? Bakit dito na-delete? Ko-compare niya yon. So parang something's wrong, di ba? Okay, something's wrong. So something's changed, no? So they communicate without a central authority. So in short, decentralized. No? Amazon Managed Blockchain is a managed service to join public blockchain networks or create your own scalable private network. Yeah, question.
Sir, for your opinion, sir, anong mas magandang gamitin? AWS or yung Azure?
Well, depende. Depende yan. Depende sa use case niyo. No? Azure kasi meron din database. No? Meron database. Pero if you're gonna ask me, kasi ang very popular AWS, sila yung pioneer, sila yung kauna-unahang nag-host, and they have more than 220 services. Ang Azure, less than 220. Okay. If you're gonna compare Azure naman maganda gamitin if your environment is 100% Windows, you can easily query yung mga, let's say, number of license ng Office 365 mo. Isang command lang yan. Makikita ko, uy, license ko 200, employee ko 500. Diba? Using PowerShell lang yan. Sa AWS, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yun. Kasi wala namang PowerShell sa AWS eh. Diba? So magkaiba. Ang problem lang sa AWS, walang Windows 10. Paano kung gusto ng Windows 10? No? Hindi ko makita. Walang Windows 10 dito. Tingnan niyo. So maraming difference. Kung pupunta tayo dito sa marketplace, they don't even have Windows 10. Ewan ko lang, baka may nakita kayo. Ako wala makita. Tingnan niyo ha. Gusto ko ng Windows 10. Kasi palipat-lipat ako. Let's say tomorrow, nasa ibang site ako. Dadaling ko na lang yung luma akong laptop. Mag-RDP ako. Nandun lahat data ko, di ba? Tingnan nyo, gagawa akong instance dito. Ito naman ang limitation niya. So, kaya-create akong instance. Hanapin ko Windows 10. So, wait, wala eh. Windows 2019 lang. Wala. Walang Windows 10. Ha? No? Kahit i-search ko pa siya sa marketplace, punta ako marketplace, dapat nandito yan, di ba? Tatype mo lang Windows 10 eh. Okay, tatype ko. Wala makita. Huh? Na 2019, 2012, puro server. Di ba? Wala makita. Community. Sa community naman, gusto ko Windows 10. 2019,
Server.
2020, puro server. Pangit, di ba? Punta ako sa Azure. Napakadaling mag-provision ng server sa Windows 10. Kasi nga, Microsoft owned eh. Owned by Microsoft, di ba?
Tama.
Yeah, so create ito, Azure na to. Create ako ng resource. Tingnan mo. Tatype ko lang Win10. Yun o. Diba? Oo. Okay, create ka agad. Create ka agad. Okay, tapos native language nito kung PowerShell ka. So may option ka dito na PowerShell. Ayun, PowerShell. Diba? Napakadali. So dito ka na gawa ng server, let's say 100 server, new AZVM, 100, created ka agad. New AZVM, ganyan. Yan yung command to create a virtual machine. Enter ko lang. So tinatanong anong pangalan ng server mo, server 1, user mo, Chris. Ganun lang. No? PowerShell siya. Get AZ location. Kung familiar ka na dito, mas mabilis to. O yan, nakita ko na yung mga location ko. Mas familiar kasi ako sa Azure. Ayan. Norway is, Brazil, Sweden. No? Ito yung mga site nila. East US. Wherein sa AWS naman, kailangan ko pa mag-drop down list. Tapos kailangan ko pa mag-spin ng VM. Tapos sa VM na yon, doon ko tatanungin. Na? Tapos you have to install AZ. Tama, hindi tumatakbo. Sorry, as AZ. Sorry. AWS command line. Ayan na. So AWS, let's say S3 bucket list. Unable to locate credential. Hindi pa pala ako nag-configure. AWS configure. Okay, so connect ako. So I need to pull up my credential pa. So iba-iba, ang daming difference.
Yung proseso, no, sir? Pero mas madaling gamitin yung Azure compared to
for me,
AWS.
oo, kasi Windows person ako.
Oo.
Tapos I have to, saan ba ako? US East 2 ba ako? East 2 yung pinrevision ko. Pag wrong spelling pa yan, wala na. Tama ba? Output name. Tapos lilist ko yung S3. Tingnan ko may humahugot akong buckets. Wala yata akong buckets. Saan ba ako nag-create ng buckets? No? It's difficult to remember minsan. So, hindi niya makita. AWS EC2 list. Yung mga EC2 instances. May format siya.
Pero kailan lang sir na-hack yung yung nag-down ng AWS? Last week ba yun? Last 2 weeks?
Meron siyang 53 minutes downtime.
Oo nga.
Pero hindi naman whole world. It's not whole world.
Ay, hindi ba?
Region lang yan, region. Like ako, kanina, na-experience nating downtime. Diba kumanig ako, seed nito eh. Ayan no. Seed nito eh. Di ba hindi tayo makapag ano ba nangyari kanina? Hindi tayo maka-download ng, ito, di ba kanina? Nag-error eh. Hindi tayo maka-download ng patch kasi meron palang maintenance ang Telstra. Okay? So, ganun sila. May maintenance sila. Okay? Sana ako. Next one. Glue. It's a manage service then manage extract transform and load ETL. Useful to prepare, and transform data for analytics. Fully serverless. Serverless. So, walang server, which means you can save a lot of money, save time in patching, upgrading the operating system. You could be using Lambda version. So, Glue can be stored in a bucket or in database. Source data could be from bucket or database. Then extract, then transform, load to Redshift. Okay, so Glue data catalog of databases can be used by Athena, Redshift, and EMR. Okay. DMS, database migration service. No, if you want to migrate, let's say, meron kayong on-prem sa office ninyo na SQL, no, you will utilize the database migration service. So sabi ng boss nyo, paki-migrate nga itong database natin. So anong gagawin mo as a solution architect? Punta ka sa database migration service. Migrate mo yung data mo. Yan. So how to migrate? Meron niyang instruction kung di mo alam. No? Benefits, RDS, and so on. So in short, you can quickly and securely migrate on-prem data to the cloud using highly resilient and self-healing. The source database remains available during the migration. So ibig sabihin dito, habang nagma-migrate ka, yung source database is still up and running. Hindi mo papatayin. Hence, it lessen the downtime. So ibig sabihin, ang migration, nagre-read lang siya dito. Tapos his target AWS database, minamigrate na niya. Okay? So may data pa rin dito, but never deleted. It's just doing a read copy. Hence, walang downtime sa customer mo. Okay? It supports homogeneous migration. So when you say homogeneous, from different, ano ba tawag nila doon? May tawag sila doon eh. Different collation, no? To another collation. Like SQL, may different collation. Oracle, may different collation. So pwede siya Oracle to Oracle or Microsoft SQL to Aurora. Okay? Sino gagawa nun? Database migration service. Okay. So databases and analytics summary in AWS. So relational database used for online transaction. Ideally, pag OLTP ang application nyo, RDS and Aurora. Okay. Then differences between multi-AZ, RAID replica, multi-region. Na-discuss na natin yan. No, RAID replica, it creates another instance. Gagawa ng isa pang kopya. Pero, read access only. Okay? And it can host in multi-region, multi-AZ. Meron namang in-memory database, yung elastic cache. So yung frequently accessed file or database, nasa RAM lang siya. So the next time may mag-access na user, babasahin lang sa RAM. Hindi niya kailangang spin up yung hard drive. Okay? This is summary. What else? DynamoDB is a serverless data warehousing. Kung kailangan mo na ng huge data, gagamit ka na ng Redshift SQL. Hadoop cluster. Athena naman, query data on S3. So yung database mo nasa S3 bucket and perform serverless query. Quick sight naman, dashboard on your data. Now you can see naka-map region, naka-map yung mga objects. Document DB, it's a JSON, NoSQL, JavaScript object notation. QLDB naman used for financial transaction. It's a ledgerized, naka-ledger siya. May blockchain naman for decentralized database, meaning yung data has been hosted across any region, no? Without any master copy. Lahat sila master. So it's called multi-master. Glue naman is having a data catalog. So you have to query data catalog before you can pull up database. Database migration. So question sa exam, paano ma-migrate ng tool? DMS. Neptune naman is a graph database. Okay? Any question? Any question? Okay, so tuloy ko na dito sa compute section natin. Pero stop ko muna, no? Stop. 5-minute break muna tayo para mag-record, no? So see you in 5 minutes.